doing, man? There are many people who harness the conception of federalism. Some radio stations cannot talk about federalism today. And yet we all know that Uganda became a nation. It was founded 59 years ago under a federal principle. Because Museveni does not like a federalism, we should not talk about federalism. Those are some of the mysteries we want to break as we start this transition. In conclusion, Dr. Besigye, God has given you to us. Dr. Besigye is a man of sentiment. He's a man of passion. He's a man of love. He's a man of a democratic mind. And in respect of that endowment, I urge all those people who have been given responsibilities to work closely with Dr. Besigye. He's a gentleman. And in respect of the entourage of the Conservative Party, which I happen to lead on this occasion, permit me to dedicate to you as I leave the floor a fundamental poem titled Uganda is Paradise. And pay attention as I speak about the sonnets of origin and nature. Uganda is a land of the sun. It is a land of the crocodiles. It is a land of the lions. When the waters flow, the lions roar, the giraffes yawn, and the rains fall. Uganda is a nation of many nations with diverse peoples, diverse cultures, the Amur, the Arur, the Chapatola, the Pukot, Abanyankole, Abachika. They are also kings. Emolmori, Omukuka, Adola, Chavazinga, Obusinga, Abakama. In Buganda, the Kabaka reigns, he does not rule, but he still commands. They also babes the African skimmer, the shoe-bill stock, the fish eagle, the crested crane, the crested crane, the crested crane.
Thank you very, very much. That has been the Honorable John Ken Lomachamasi. Thank you very much. Devan. Thank you, thank you.
Time and I will quickly ask Elton Mabirizi to come and speak afterwards. Kindly give us a few words so that we have time to conclude our program.
I know Uncle Mabirizi is always time conscious.
I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Elton Joseph Mabirizi Salongo. I'm an engineer. And engineers are people of few words. We are more of actions. I'm here to commit myself to all Ugandans to be faithful as I engage myself in activities that can push away the junta government before 2025. Let me conclude. Basebo ne banyabo, si bigambo bye bigenda okujjawo n'akyemalira mu ggwanga lyaffe. Tuwulidde ekimala era ebigambo tebinyeenya Museveni, naye ebigenda okusobola okumusiguukulula bye bikolwa. Kati kino kezze nga it's not about elections. Tuteekwa okulaba nga before 2025 obuyinza buzze eri bannayuganda.
Thank you very much, Engineer Elton Mabirizi. I now like the pleasure to invite Honorable Patrick Amriat to speak on behalf.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Chairman of the front, together with the executive, my brothers and sisters, heads of entities that have appended their signatures and committed themselves to the struggle, all of you members of different formations, of course the honorable members of parliament present here, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is not a date for making speeches. It is a day for us to make commitment to advance the struggle that our forefathers started many years ago. We in the FDC have been through thick and thin in this struggle. You all know we have participated as a party in 4 elections, but also together earlier on participated in an election courtesy of Reform Agenda. It is clear that elections alone cannot remove this dictator from power. I am sure even the most optimistic comrades of ours who thought the dictator could just be run over and that we would have power given to people by virtue of the election of 2021 have been through the furnace and can now attest to the fact that it is not going to be just an election and a piece of paper, as the dictator describes it, that will remove the dictator from power. Therefore, the FDC stays committed to every effort in advancement of this struggle through a non-electoral platform to bring change to our country and to liberate the people of our country once and for all. And that is why we feel today is a very important milestone that will bring us together as entities to move the struggle from one level to another. To my friends who have signed on the piece of paper and also signed here in public, the signatures have been seen. Our titles here have been recognized. But this is just the beginning of a hard journey. We are going to go through imprisonment and confinement. We are going to go through the harassment that many of you have gone through before, and they began today by trying to intimidate us. The message to the dictator is that that kind of intimidation he has attempted several times will not work. I want to call on you, my dear friends, that what we have signed to today should be put into reality. We in the FDC have an elaborate network across the country. And we are going to tell our fighters on the ground to continue preparations for the final assault on dictator Museveni. As I conclude, I would like to appreciate the People's President, Colonel Retired Dr. Kizza Besigye, for being a vanguard of the struggle, for being consistent in the struggle, steadfast in the struggle, for being courageous. This kind of effort is not about positions. It's not about titles. It's not about who leads us. It's about what we together contribute to ensure that we bring to reality the objectives of this struggle. I want to call on our friends, other political forces in this country, and particularly to speak to the National Unity Platform, that if they would like to cause a difference in our politics, this is the time to come together. I heard somebody saying, unless it is us, then, the struggle should not proceed. You need to come to us first. That is a bad spirit in as far as the struggle is concerned. What we need to do together is to come and speak in one voice. The animal has not been speared yet. We can't begin sharing the body parts of this animal. And so let us spear the animal first, so that that one who thinks is entitled to the tail will be given the tail of that animal. The one who thinks is entitled to the thigh will be given the thigh of that animal. So those who are outside of this formation would like to invite them to be part of this formation, so that the struggle continues and the dictator, like my brother Mapirisi said, is out of power before the next election. God bless you all, and as usual, we are one Uganda, one people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for that wonderful.
For now, as sort of an interlude, not just to break, but I want to bring a formidable part of the struggle to make some remarks on this occasion. Allow me to invite Honorable Ibrahim Semudu
the chairman of the front, and I guess if I recognize the chairman of the front, I recognize everybody, because we are all members of the front. Before I say one or two words, I want to introduce my colleagues with whom we came from Parliament on behalf of the others. I'll ask each one of them to say his name and his constituency.
My name is Atan Otia Moses, Member of Parliament, Soroti East Division in Soroti City. I commit to the struggle.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am Munekalet Dennis Amere, a Member of Parliament for Kitgum Municipality. I strongly believe in this struggle and I commit myself upon it.
Francis Mwiruche, Member of Parliament of Welsh County and automatically Member of the Front.
I think ours is to commit ourselves to the front and to the struggle, and to pledge before all of you that will be the ambassadors of the front to the Parliament of Uganda. I want to thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ibrahim Wanda and my colleagues. Allow me now to invite Honorable Peter Walviri to make some remarks.
Yes, Council Peter Walviri from the UPC. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Our distinguished chairperson, all leaders of the various entities and formations represented in the front, all leaders of the front, honorable members of parliament, our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the Uganda People's Congress. Can the leaders from UPC stand up for recognition? Kenneth Wawire is our Assistant Secretary General. Isha Otoa Miza is our Secretary General. Did I see another? I saw Patrick Aroma, our envoy for communications. The commitment of the Uganda People's Congress to fight the dictatorship of Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni is total. It dates from 1986. For us, we saw the dictator for what he was as early as 1986. And the struggle has been to get everybody on board, including through the CA, including through the various elections and struggles, to get everybody to understand who Yoweri Kaguta Museveni really is, to strip him naked, to expose him. I am very, very happy for this day that the struggle we started in 1986 is coming to its conclusion through this latest front. The UPC commits itself to join forces with everybody who is not against us, whether it's part of this front or outside of this front, so long as he or she is committed to remove this colossal dictatorship from our midst. We pledge to work with that person, with that entity. That has been our policy from 1986. It remains our policy. It requires two things: undivided commitment to the aims and objectives of the front. Two, action which speaks louder than the words we shall utter and we are uttering today. It requires sacrifice. It requires to banish fear. Dictatorships thrive and enslave people by instilling fear. Today is the day to banish fear. The time is up. We should stand up and confront this dictatorship. It is naked. It is scared. You see, it is always dark at dawn. Don't get scared by the patrols we found out here, by the men in uniform, because they are equally enslaved, they are equally suffering. It is our historic role under the front to launch the final assault on this very, very rapid dictatorship that is destroying our country. Mr. Museveni says he's working for his children and grandchildren. He has amassed enough actually for 5 generations of his family. What are you and me doing for our children, for our grandchildren? What legacy shall we bequeath them? The only legacy is to work on the front and deliver democracy to this country. We pledge ourselves to play our part and invite all of you within the front and outside of the front to do all that is humanly possible to make the last push. May God bless us. May God protect us.
Thank you very much, Councillor Walubiri. And now we're being pressed for time, but allow me to invite, on behalf of the DP bloc and its associates, invite Omukuru Lubega Mukaku to speak to us.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. As Samuel Mukaku is coming, let me recognize the presence of Mr. Alfred Kasozi, the Deputy Secretary General of CP, and Mary Nabuami, Lagos Secretary. Thank you for coming.
Are you all right, comrades? Are you all right, comrades? I cannot salute you the front way because I'm sure the leader of the front is going to give us the direction into that. But let me just salute you ordinarily and the protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of the most grateful people for an occasion like this to have arrived at a time when we had gone to a political slumber, to an activist slumber, to a slumber that our people do not want because they are suffering a lot out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to put this one in proper state. Had we not been pressured by the COVID circumstances, which you have ably observed, the SOPs, thank you very much and clap for yourselves. We would have had a sea of people as represented by the different peoples of Uganda, political party entities and organizations, civil society institutions, trade groups, individuals, the eminent people, and our children who now suffer because they're not going to school, because the money for COVID was eaten and the COVID was badly managed. Ladies and gentlemen, can we swear to ensure that we are going to fight for those suffering people? Are you ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an electoral front. I heard some of my colleagues in the fourth estate were thinking that we are creating a political front, probably like any other that we have had before. No. A lot of work has been done. We have reached out to different people, as I've mentioned. This is a non-electoral front aimed at helping the people of Uganda out of the suffering that they are going through today. If you know of anybody whose nails have been plucked out, then you who is here and those who are watching on TV and elsewhere and worldwide, stand up and say, I'm fighting for that person. If you know of somebody who has arbitrarily been arrested, he has disappeared, and his where or her whereabouts are no one knows, please say, I'm standing up with the front to fight for those people. If you know of people who have been displaced from their land because the mafias have taken charge, the deep state is in charge, say, I'm ready to fight for those people. Do not count your political party. We don't like your color. What we want is your commitment, your determination, and your will to push this through and tell those people, enough is enough. Time up. Please move out. If you know the people who are suffering because their businesses have been kaput. Why? Because of the debilitating tax ban, because of the mismanagement of the COVID, the lockdowns and the curfews that we don't like now. If you know of those businesses who have been pushed out because they cannot afford the rent today, please say, I'm standing up for those people, not for the political parties, but for those people who are suffering today because we want to liberate our nation. I can't hear you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, as I've heard from different corridors, even over radio, some people wanting to spin this. This is a front which invites all political entities, right from NOP, which is now the opposition leader, FDC, DP, CP, mention them, and also civil society institutions. If you know of those civil society institutions which have been gagged, which have been muzzled, some of them have been imprisoned, it is now your time to stand, young and old, woman and man, Acholi, Langi, Karamajong, Catholic, Protestant. This is your front because we must fight for our country. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no time. But I'm sure the message, and as the chairman is going to unveil this, as the leadership of the front, the leadership is only the beginning. It's an interim nature. Everyone is invited. Every entity is invited. Every individual, the young people, the students, those in the diaspora, those in the neighborhoods, even Kagame, even Uhuru, even the Sudanese, even the Tanzanians, they're welcome because this is a front that must deal with those people who came here swearing that it was not a mere change of guards, but a fundamental change. Batu Timbabula. Batu Timbabula. Batu Timbabula. They said during that time that we shall not see people being extrajudicially killed. Today what are we seeing? They are playing games. Members of parliament have been arrested. Our parliament needs a rescue. Are you ready to stand with our parliament to rescue this country? Are you ready? Are you ready? Our judiciary and the courts have been captured and compromised. Are you ready to stand up and say enough is enough? Everyone needs justice, and the justice must be for all, and equality must prevail. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, this is only something that we can overtly say. But there is a lot of work that we are going to command covertly to ensure that in no time we have a transitional government. That in no time the transitional agenda is in earnest. That in no time the people of Uganda have reclaimed their power. As some people have used the slogans, power must go back to the people of what? Of Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen. Basebone banyabo ebigambo kubanga bogesibwe bakyaliyo ate amawulire gaffe twagala okubebaza mwebala okuba muweereza ensi yonna ebatunulidde mu abali wano mwe mukiikiridde kuyanjaza abantu bamuchikide ba students baffe abaana abakwatibwa embuto abakwasibwa sirimu kubanga tebasobola genda kusomera. Radical to those people who are tyrannizing us, to misrule, to injustice, to dictatorship, and the abuse of human rights, and the collapse of our economy. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless the people of Uganda.
Thank you very much. That has been Honorable Sam Lubega Mukako. As they are going to invite the next speaker, I would like, we have been joined by Honorable Sarah Adeke, woman member of Parliament of Soroti District. You are most welcome and welcome to the people. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you very much. Please, time.
Okay.
Please allow me to invite the first deputy chairman of the front to make a few remarks and invite the chairman of the front to address us. Rule of law.
Well, the chairman, members of the leadership of the front, leaders of different entities constituting this front, eminent persons here, the MPs, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you all. It's a great day for us to assemble in the yard here of our colleagues, the JEMA. I'd like to express our gratitude to you, the representative of the chairman, brother of the president, and the entire team for hosting us here, and for always being committed to bring all of us together. We thank you very much. Allow me also to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the various leaders who have assembled here. This is a demonstration that we are committed to liberate our country. It's a demonstration of courage, a demonstration of zeal and passion to get the country from where it is, that is in the doldrums. It's a struggle for us to liberate this country. I need not mention that this country is in a dire situation. You'll all agree with me, the constitution has already been overthrown. Semeya paper taken. And you know what happens in a situation where you have no constitution in charge? That means there is no environment for constitutionalism, there is no environment for rule of law, good governance, respect for human rights, and also justice. So our coming here together is a sign that Ugandans are yearning for change, are yearning for that restoration of democracy, good governance, and culture of rule of law in the country. It's vital, it's important. We need to recommit ourselves to the ideals that are enshrined in all the instruments we have. The most fundamental one being the Constitution, but there are so many. My brother here can talk about those international covenants and what not. It's important. So, it's a clarion call to all of us. We are not here to compete against the other. We are not here to stand for positions, to jostle for positions, no. We are here for that particular common cause. Let that be the bond that brings us together. Let that cause be the glue that brings us together. We are not here to connive against anyone.
save those who have subdued the constitution of this country, those who have held us captive up to this particular moment, those who have hijacked the sovereignty of the people. And we are here to say, yes, let the sovereignty of the people take charge of the destiny of this country. Because right now, we have a cabal in charge. We have a handful of people in charge of our country. One will ask, what is so different about this new front, which is not so much pretty the same, like those attempts we have had before? The answer we shall give, like my brother Sam Rubega and others have said here before, this is not an electoral alliance. Scientists, rather political scientists, have got those different philosophies. They have defined different formations. And it's not for semantics, by the way, that they have come up with those particular formations. You have what they call a front, you have what they call a movement, you have what they call a coalition, you have what they call an alliance, electoral alliance. So it is deliberate and it's well thought out that this formation, this platform, is called a front. It's for a purpose. We are not here to create a coalition arrangement, because that presupposes something else. This is not about coming up with an electoral alliance. This probably may be akin to what happened in the aftermath of 2011 elections, when we had Walk to Work. It was non-partisan. It was not focusing on the subsequent election. It was just about Uganda and about people coming together to coalesce behind a particular cause. Probably that is the ideal I can bring out. The best arrangement we have ever had in this country. Walk to Work. In the same genre, maybe you can talk about the Tojikwatako. It was also a similar effort. And of course, even IPFC, much as it was during that election cycle of 1996, it brought together all formations for that particular purpose. But because it came at a time of elections, it was difficult to realize the dream that we cherish. But this one coming on the heels of 2021 elections, where all of us are not focusing on any other election cycle. Our mind is about liberation of this country. It's very, very important and fundamental. We must underscore and underline that we're not coming here to focus on elections, to focus on who should take which particular position. We are here to focus on the liberation of our country. That is crucial. We must appreciate that. So let's not attack one another. Let's just focus on the journey we want to walk. Let's focus on our mission. Focus on our vision. That is important and critical. Right now, Mr. Museveni is overly domineering every aspect of our life. We can't allow that to happen. So everyone's effort must be appreciated. All of you people, don't undermine yourself, I must assure you. We have a saying in Uganda, Chagali Awamu, don't underrate yourself. Don't. That effort, let me tell you, let me give you this example, just for demonstration purposes. You've seen here the representative of FHRI. You don't know the role they are playing in this struggle of ensuring there is rule of law in this country, respect for human rights. Today,
Mr. Museveni has gone berserk and ballistic about the right to bail, as if he was not there when it was being enshrined in the Constitution of 1995. As if he's oblivious that it's actually universal accepted. But anyway, in law there is what we call a locus classicus, a precedent, a decision which is so outstanding on a particular subject. The Foundation for Human Rights Initiative here filed a constitutional petition to have a declaration of court that bail is a constitutional right. Because previously, once you were charged or indicted on a capital offense, court would decline to give you bail and say, unless you have spent 6 months, 180 days on remand, you are not entitled to bail. FHRI said, no, we can't allow this to stand. We sat together, all of us put our heads together with the FHRI and filed a constitutional petition. That petition set free so many Ugandans. Because right now, people are getting bail, and that's what has incensed himself. It has rattled him that people are getting bail. Just because they are those who took up this matter and fought. It's the same precedent that Dr. Chiza Besigye came up with in that famous case you are aware of. So, why I'm bringing these examples is to stress the point that every effort counts. This is a multifaceted struggle. It's multi-pronged. It's going to be in the streets. It's going to be in the courtrooms. It's going to be in the city. It's going to be everywhere. In our gardens and in all places. So all of you in your various clusters, please, this is your struggle. The business community, the border cyclists, matatu operators, the farmers, everybody. It's your struggle. Even those who are in offices. The other day I saw a chancellor being hounded out of his office. Is it Victoria University? Being hounded like a chicken thief. So this is all your struggle. We have not assembled here as self-seekers. No. We have assembled here for that particular cause. I want to conclude by telling you this. This is a non-violent struggle. It hinges on the provisions of Article 3 of the Constitution, which makes it a constitutional obligation on every adult able-bodied Ugandan to rise to the occasion in a situation where the Constitution is being subverted. It's not only a right, it's not, by the way, whether you make a commitment or not, you already have a constitutional obligation. It's a duty, whether you make a commitment or not. Actually, if failure to make a commitment, you're committing treason under Article 2. That's what the Constitution says. You look at the provisions of Article 3. It talks about resistance, that you are duty bound to resist any form of injustice, any unconstitutional tendency, any attempt, not only actual overthrow, but any attempt to overthrow the Constitution. Should you fail in that duty, under Article 2, you are committing treason. So it is treasonable if you sit back and take and watch the situation take its own course. I'm telling you, every Ugandan, if you are above 18 and you don't take action in a situation like this, you are committing treason. I wanted to underline that. The very final one, before I invite the chairman, I asked the Lord Mayor, as the Lord Mayor of the capital city here, you know, a non-violent struggle, civil disobedience, always the last point or the beginning one or the last is always this, where the seat of power is. So those ones have an extra obligation. The people in the capital city, you have an extra obligation, because this is where the dictatorship is rooted the most. Forget about that talk that they get votes from up country, in the villages, what? That is total crap. It's not true. Actually, they just rig. They use those remote areas to rig. But the rigging is planned here. So you have that extra obligation, especially the people of Kampala. I want to put your notice when they are talking about unconscionable taxes, when they are talking about all these injustices, persecution, torture, and whatnot. It's all here. So, onyini mufu yakola ki? Yakwatibwa. Olubimbi nnambeemu lw'abantu b'omu Kampala mu kibuga wano. Lusooke lusasaanire eggwanga. Kubanga n'akyemalira wano waasinga okusimba amakanda. Era ab'ebitundu ebirala bawulira bagamba ab'omu Kampala bagamba ki? Bwe bawulira nga kibukuta mu Kampala n'ewalala kijja kutambula. Era nze gye ntambudde yonna babuuza abantu b'omu Kampala kiki ekigenda mu maaso. Bannayuganda baagala okuwulira ekifo ekyo. Abasuubuzi muleme kukaaba misolo nti kati bagipimira mu kiro. Aba boda ebyamwe bijja ebyokubakuba mu kibuga. Aba taxi mukeesa lukya. Mwaba omutala ebizibu mubimanyi ebiri ebyo. Buli omu mbasaba bassebo ne bannyapa. Mumanye nti luno lwoya lwaki? Lwa munyindo. Ssemateeka ekyo kyagamba. Njagala okusaba bannaffe bwe tuli ffenna mu struggle. Bino si byakuvuganya. Situli mu kalulu. Situlonda ani agenda kwesimbawo ddi. Tuli mu kulwana kutaasa ggwanga. Kisimba kamannyo nga nkigumiza nti emirundi mingi babuuza abo bazze bakola ebisinde bwe bityo biyambye ki? Waliwo eyayogedde wano yasoose nga njagala okugumiza ekigambo ekyo nti ennyanja omugga si ennyanja river waliwo gye bayita corrosive effect. Amaanyi gaayo ekikigawa nti amazzi bwe gagenda geeyongerako nga tulina river Nile wano egenda paka Egypt. Naye amazzi agava wano mu river Nile egava wano ewaffe ejjinja gagenda buli kweyongerako wegatuukira Egypt. Era kyemuva mulaba beera ebiyiriro ennaku zino baagala nakulwanagana ne Ethiopia, Egypt ne Ethiopia. Ebiyiriro ebyayo by'amaanyi nnyo paka genda geeyongerako. Eno tugiyite source of river Nile. Ku lugendo lwe tugenda okutambula emikutu emirala gikole ki? Gyeyongereko. Bwe tutuukira wano okusikukula omusajja ng'amaanyi n'ekisinde by'amaanyi ddala. Njagala okubasaba mu abatudde wano tuleme kusojjagana. Era okuvuganya kujja kubeerangawo mu kalulu. Ekyo tewali agenda kukijjawo. Ffenna wano abali wano mu 2021 twesimbawo. Era ne twesimba ku bifo eby'enjawulo. Nange ku ballot paper nalinako twaliko 11. Naye olwaliro tugamba isu si ani yali ku ballot paper, si yali avuganya ani. Tewali demokrasi yatukiza kuvuganya mirembe n'ebibiina tebisobola kuvuganya. So tukwatagane obuyinza budde eri abantu newe tuliba tuligenda mu kalulu kuba kalina okubeerawo ye demokrasiya ng'akalulu kalina amakulu nga ballot paper erina amakulu naye tusooke tuyite mu transition tuzeewo embeera eyo. So bwe buvunaanyizibwa bwe tulina akaseera kano. Abali wano n'abali ebweru ffenna omulamwa gwe gumu tutambulire mu kisinde ekyo tusobole okutaasa eggwanga lyaffe. With those remarks, allow me to take this opportunity to invite the chairman of this front, a very charismatic leader, a man of will and determination, who has really demonstrated that he is ready to die if that's what it means, to pay that ultimate price.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Our hosts and conveners, the leader of Forum of Justice Forum, who has not only been a convener today, but we are all here in this form because of work that has been done in the Justice Forum. Can we give them a loud clap? Yes, that's leadership by Justice Forum. My colleagues, the fighters who have gathered here from the different entities in your respective capacities, Ugandans who are committed to change, who are here and who are not here because of what has been explained. As has been said, this struggle has taken a very long time. A lot of words have been spoken. This is not the time for more words. This is the time to put our words in action. And that's why we are gathered here. So allow me to thank all of you who have taken the responsibility to come here today to identify with the birth of a fighting front. That's what we are here today for. And I would like to, in the same vein, thank all those who have been working day and night, consulting, explaining, even persuading all of us who are oppressed, who are marginalized, who are terrorized, that we come together to free ourselves. All of you who have done that job, please a loud clap for all of you. Having said that, it's clear my intention is not to say many words today. And I'd like, to the onset, appreciate and thank colleagues who have entrusted the tough responsibility of giving me the coordination of this task, that I am here to do so without flinching. The reason today is a very important day is because of the level of crisis that our country faces today. The crisis we live in today has not been born in the last few
few days, it has been a mounting crisis. For all these 59 years that we are going to mark, and I hear some people say celebrate. I'm sorry, there is nothing to celebrate in the 59 years. We can only mark the 59 years of independence. But in the 59 years of independence, a crisis has been building, has been mounting. The independence government, and we are lucky to have the representatives of that government, Uganda People's Congress, talked at independence about the three elements that formed the core of the crisis at independence. And that was ignorance, disease, and poverty. They were the three core elements of a crisis at independence. You don't need an explanation to understand where those three are today. Whether we have gone far in dealing with ignorance, whether we have gone far in dealing with disease, or whether we have gone far. Knowledge equalizes. A person from a poor home can be endowed with ability to learn, and that endowment comes only from God. And God spreads gifts across all sections of our people. So you find in a very poor home, there are children with a gift of learning and who can acquire a lot of knowledge in a short time. The idea of education is that it then propels them and digs them out of poverty. Education, knowledge, is an equalizer. I've been saying that Mr. Museveni would never have dreamt of putting on a suit and being among people if it was not even independent Uganda, actually colonial Uganda, which afforded him education. Because his home he was among, everybody knows he comes from one of the poorest homes. But the colonial government created an opportunity for him to learn, get knowledge, and the knowledge liberated him, and now his entire clan from poverty. Regrettably, under the last 36 years of NRM junta, we now have education apartheid. Africa thought we had seen the last of the apartheid system in South Africa. I'm sorry. The apartheid system is very much alive and well in Uganda. In all spheres, but certainly in the education sphere. A poor person's child can no longer access schools where there is knowledge. They have put for the poor people schools that are free of knowledge, where there is no knowledge. That's where the children of the poor go. UPE, USE, no knowledge. That's where you go to get no knowledge. Graduate of UPE, USE is heading to become a crime preventer, to work in the kitchens of the Arabs. That's where a poor person's child is headed because of the education that is available to him. Those who are from a bit well-off families, middle class, maybe who have some jobs in the town, those are taking their children to private schools where there is some literal knowledge being built up there in the private schools. But only literal. Yes, those will continue and go to Makerere. And of course, after Makerere, have no job. Because the knowledge that they accumulate up to Makerere is not liberating knowledge. It's insufficient. Even actually without the cancer of corruption. Today, if you do real interviews, you'll find people from our universities can't pass interviews for the good jobs that are there, because the knowledge that has been built in these education institutions is very little. Where now knowledge is no longer the government schools, is no longer the private schools, it is the international schools. But how many? I don't believe anyone here has any child, there is anybody with a child in an international school. That is for the very, very few who hold Uganda captive. They are the ones who can afford to take children to international schools, take them to international universities, and later get jobs to manage the crime preventers and all these other people that would have failed in life. So the crisis of knowledge that was there at independence has been intensifying all these years. It has now been accelerated at a speed we have never seen during the period of COVID. COVID, the closure of schools for 2 years, this has never been heard of. Today, Uganda is the only country in Africa, in the entire continent of Africa, it is Uganda only whose children are at home. In the whole of Africa. And that means in the whole world. Because Africa is always behind everybody else. That's where we are. Our children are at home, as somebody said, getting pregnant, getting involved in all kinds of bad habits, losing out on building knowledge. If you are building knowledge in 15 million people for a whole year, it's a lot of knowledge for the country. So if you lose out on education for 2 years of 15 million people, you have lost 30 million years of knowledge. How shall we compete? Needless to say, once you have no knowledge, the rest of the crises are a must. You will have disease. You'll have disease once you have no knowledge. Today, literally the whole of Africa is waiting for other continents to give us a vaccine. We can't do anything about it. You hear people here, children will not go back to school because they have not been vaccinated. Whose vaccine are you talking about? Shall we make vaccines if children are not in schools? Building knowledge. So ladies and gentlemen, this crisis we are talking about, in health, it is unprecedented. In Uganda, after 59 years of independence, 1 of every 3 children below 5 years is stunted. Yakona. Akonye. Buli mwana wa myaka 5 kudda wansi takula. akonzibye. So we are talking about 15 million children in school. It means 5 million bakonziba. That's a huge, huge crisis. This is becoming worse because of the last 2 years of COVID. Because people's ability to feed has gone down tremendously. So health is a total crisis. Poverty. I don't need to talk about poverty. Because we live in this town. Poverty is an immense crisis and growing by the day. Tetunaba kulaba obwavu gye bugenda. It's intensifying. Kubanga n'abayinako COVID has wiped it out. Yali alunda enkoko ezo zaagenda. Yali alina omudaala gwagenda. Yali akola afumba chapati yazirya. Poverty is now a crisis, huge crisis. So basebo ne banyabo, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here to confront a crisis. Tuzze kulwana ne embeera etalabikangako obubi bwayo n'obunene bwayo. We are here to confront a crisis. It's a crisis. Now, a crisis does not lead you to first of all do all kinds of nice things. No. We must all stand up and confront the crisis. Baba Debogera, echibataka. People, ordinary people, that was their own hope that at least they have their land. Even that one, Tebaina. So there is a crisis in the country that we must face, and face urgently, and face head on, and not withdraw until it is done. We must. So how are we doing that? And that is what has been amply said. We have tested other ways. We have tested. And I am an expert in that testing. Obululu twabutesinga. Netukiriziganya nti tebukola ki? Tebujja kututuusa. Lwaki? Because this whole state is captive. Eggwanga lyonna liri mu ki? Mu buwambe. The whole country is captive. Akalulu kabaawo ng'oyina akalulu. Okuba n'akalulu kitegeeza nti oyina obuyinza obusalawo. Si kye kitegeeza? Akalulu kategeeza obuyinza obukola ki? Obusalawo. Bannayuganda balina obuyinza obusalawo. So tebalina kalulu. Tulwana buli omu abe naki? N'akalulu. Buli omu ng'asobola kusalawo. Buli omu ng'alina eddoboozi. Teri alina ddoboozi. Balituulidde teri alina ddoboozi. So we are here to fight for our right to vote even. Naye nga gye twasookera kutuusa when we realized that this is terikola kyekkubo lino terijja kututuusa. Kwe kusalawo, we must choose another path. So twegatidde wano kulwana eweeru w'okusalawo naki? N'akalulu. Tuli ffenna? Abaagala akalulu, abalowooza nti kalina gye kasobola okubatwala, tetubalinaako mutaawaana. Bagende bakeetegekere, bakalinde, balikayingira. Ffe ng'eno tulwana n'ekyaffe. Tetulina muntu mutaawaana na muntu yenna. So, we have come to fight. How and what will it take? Again, it's a matter that we have been talking about many times. Ekisooka ekinatununula buli omu, what will free us, all of us, the first critical step is for all those who are oppressed, terrorized, marginalized to know that to get freedom, they, every one of those, they have to do something. In other words, our first task, buli omu ayagala enkyukakyuka. The first task is to make sure all people who are like ourselves, terrorized, marginalized, robbed, what, that we understand that we have to fight for our right. Okusooka tuli mu mbeera mbi era okugivaamu tulina okulwana nayo. That is the first thing. Okutegeera. So olutalo olusooka lw'abantu kutegeera. Era nkusaba yonna gy'owangaalira laba nti akuliraanye yenna akola ki? Ategeera nti ali mu buwambe, nti era tajja kubuvaamu nga tasituse eyeerwanako. Tuli fenna to get out of this captivity, tuina kwerwanako, tuina tukolechi, tukolechi, si kya muntu omu wabula kikwata kuki, fenna awamu tukwatire wamu tukolechi, twetase. It's us to free ourselves. Si mulimu kukuwa gundi tulwanirire nedda. Bakulwanirira nawe ng'okoze eki? Nga wooli. Tuli fenna. People must be awake, must be alert, must be ready to fight. Bino mbyogera nga ndinamu akasanyu munda muli. Kubanga gye mpita eno mpulira abantu nga bagamba nti mmwe mutulwisizza weetuli tuliredde. Maloboozi ngawulira nti mmwe mukoze eki? Mmwe mubuze wetuliredde. So twagala ategedde asituke. Ategedde akole ki? Ekyokubiri, okwetaasa nga bwe tugambye twetaase. Twetaasa nga tukolera wamu. Agali awamu. We must hold each other's hands. Tulwanire wamu. Tulina okulwanira wamu. Twetaasize wamu. That is critical. Era abanaffe abayogedde emabega bakyogedde bulungi. Kino ekisinde kya buli omu awulira nti ayagala kukola ki? Kwetaasa. Era nga bwe bagambye tetuli mu kisinde kino kufuna bukulembeze oba kufuna ki. Ne bw'oba oyagala kukulembera ekisinde kino jangu okikulembere naye nga tukola ki? Nga tulwana. Tetulina mutawaana na bukulembeze. In fact, bano banaffe n'okuntikka omulimu guno nabadde mbagamba ze seetaaga kifo oba linnya kulwana. Nze oba n'ekifo oba sirina nja kukola ki? Nja kulwana, nja kubaawo. Era nja kubaawo nze, it doesn't matter ani ali mu maaso, nze nja kukola ki? Nja kubangawo. Tulwane tusooke twenunule twetaase. So, kwatira awamu. Ekyokusatu era ekisembayo, bwe tubanga tutegedde, tusituse, buli omu akutte munne ekisigadde kwe kulumba. Teweetaasa nga tokoze eki nga tolumbye kubanga alina ky'olina olina kukimuggyako si bwe kiri. Oli bw'abanga alina ky'olina tosobola kwesalirawo eyakukuggyako ali wali agamba sijja kukkiriza. Kati owulira asala agamba ati ne bw'ayagala abeere mukomera ajja kubeerayo okutuusa bw'aligamba ti oyo afulume. Bwe tuba tugamba nti aa sebo ebyo byonna obyogera naye lino eggwanga lyaffe tetujja kukkiriza. Olina okusooka obuyinza obwo obwakuggyako ekyo okole ki? Omuggyeko. Bw'oba wakumuggyako olina kumusemberera okole ki? Obumuggyeko. So siteepu ey'okusatu etuleese wadde era esembayo kulumba twetaase. Tulina kulumba tukole ki? Twetaase ddala. Era abatuleese wano tusse ffenna kubuulira eggwanga ensonga eyo yokka yokka yennyini nti buli ogyoli eyo yonna ng'oyagala kwetaasa ng'oyagala embeera ekyuke tegeera situka kwatagana ne munno linda firimbi okole ki? Basebo ne bannyabo, ladies and gentlemen, this is easy to say, but as we have realized, it has taken us a long time. But we don't want to take that much longer, because as I have said, the crisis is deep. The crisis is deep. Uganda needs a reset, a grand reset. Twetaaga enkola eneetambuza eggwanga bupya. It's a complete reset. Bino bye bagamba kati education gye mbadde njogerako, it won't take just telling nti amasomero ku lunaku bwe luti gaggulewo. Gaggulewo kukola ki? Ogamba gaggulewo ani alina ssente mu nsawo ezinaatwala omwana ku ssomero. Ogamba bugambi gaggulewo toyogedde baana ngeri ki gye banaakola ki? Gye banaagayingira. Ogamba bakomewo abasomesa bookyamanya oba gye bali abaagenda dda mu kkuba amatofaali abali Dubai. Ogamba amasomero gaggulewo gatya? Gaggulewo tuddeyo eri awatali knowledge. Kyoyagala ogulewo ebiyumba omutali kutegeera okuzimbibwa muli. Byoyagala biggulewo era. Is that the education we want to be open? Ng'omusomesa, the teacher, the builder of the country, is the most despised person in the country. Is that the education we want to open again? No. A teacher, even the teachers at Makerere, no sanga despised. Taina. Same with health care. I've been quarreling never councillor wa state council. Councillor wa state council asinga omusaala doctor. How shall we have disease? How shall we chase disease? Nga abalwanyi b'ebulwadde bokka bokka balwadde njala tebalina we basula. So Uganda will not just continue like this. We need a grand reset. Era tuzze wano okugamba nti mu maaso kye tulwanirira si simanyi balongoose wano nawali kino tekikyalongoosebwa kino kirina okuviirawo ddala wabeewo ekipya ekizimbibwa kinatwala eggwanga. We are not going to tinker with the edges, no. Twagala grand reset. Munnayuganda awangalire mu nsi ye nga wakitiibwa ng'atambula n'alinnya wansi n'awulira nti eggwanga liki lirye. We want a grand reset gye tuzze kulwanirira wano. Era n'olw'ensonga eyo, from here we have given ourselves 3 weeks. Week ssatu. Mu wiiki ez'essatu we want to consult all the stakeholders that we have not had the chance to consult before today and have in-depth consultations with all of them. Abankuba litiya gaasi mu maaso muno mugenda muvaamu amazzi agayingira wansi from 2011. Wiiki ssatu from today nga tutuula ne buli stakeholder ow'enkizo mu ggwanga lino twogere ku grand reset. Bannaddiini, bannabyabufuzi abatali wano, bana bibiina bya nakyewa, abakola emirimu egy'enkizo naye nga be basinga okunyigirizibwa, babodaboda, abavuzi ba takisi, abawangaalira mu butale nga banyigirizibwa eyo, abali mu mirimu egy'enjawulo bonna. Twagala twewadde wiiki ziri mmeka? Wiiki ey'okusatu okuva olwaleero tujja kudda tulangirire ekikola ki, naye ng'ekiddako lijja kuba ddoboozi eryo limu, si sipiiki kwe kugamba nti kuva enkya kino kyekikola ki, kyekitambula. Bw'oba olina byolongoosa longoosa wiiki ssatu. Bw'oba olinamu omugongo gunnuma wiiki meka? Ssatu. So ku lunaku olwo bwe lunaagenda okuba ebirala ebyongerwako, olwaleero kubadde kutangaaza abalwanyi bonna gye bali mu ggwanga nti kano ke kaseera tukole ki? Sibawulira tukole ki? Starting today, they must understand their time is. The time is. Sibawulira. Time ki? Time is out. Era y'ensonga lwaki tusazeewo every fighter, buli w'owulirira wonna, anytime you feel that there is an injustice, twagala ositule kaadi emyufu ogambe time ki? Time is. Time is. Sibawulira, sibalaba. Time is. Time is out. Sibawulira. Time is. Time is out. Ekiseera kikoze eki? kikuweddeko. Time is out. Era kiba kirungi, it will be good buli omu obenga oyina n'akafirimbi mu nsawo nti omuzannyi oyo alina okufuluma ekisaawe. Bw'oba omulaga kaadi n'ekafulimbi okola ki? Omufuuyira n'omugamba ti time ekoze ki? Ekiseera kikoze ki? Ekiseera kikoze ki? Time is out, ladies and gentlemen. Time is out. Era twagala mu butongole, we want to formally launch the symbol of our struggle, the red card. The red card.
Leaders, please come here so that we assist the chairman and unveil that symbol.
And all of you,
join the chairman.
Red cards.
Members of the JCC, you can stand behind there. Members of the JCC, behind there.
JCC, members of the JCC, you can come behind. The Joint Consultative Council. With your card.
Somebody stand here. There is enough space here, members of JCC. Yes. Yes. Members of the JCC.
Can you unveil? Can you unveil the red card now? Wherever you are, we want you to keep your card up. Please make sure you get a whistle. Maybe not now, but all our activists, wherever they are, we want them. So, ekisinde ky'olutalo tukiyita the front. The era nga kyagala abawamba eggwanga bakite. Bakole ki? Bwengamba nti twetaase damuti bakite. Twetaase. Twetaase. Twetaase.
Just a little bit as the chairman winds up. This red card is going to be a very dynamic red card. Like something that has never happened before on the African continent. Every family, every individual will have this that the chairman has commanded. But you are free if the injustice you see is to take you off your land, print your card, put off my land, if it is about education, if it is about health, you print your card, you are free to print your card, but everyone must be armed with a card and a whistle. It's going to be a dynamic one. It's not a static one. And when the road mayor commands, stand up, stand up, when the women command,
Let us say, the time is up, the time is up. We are going to command from the streets. We are going to command all the mothers with starving children. We are going to command the fastest children. We are going to command from everywhere. We are going to go to the east. We are going to go to Busoka. We are going to go to Kabalole. We are going to go to Makere.
when the youth command and when the civil society, members of the civil society individually command, tujja kwetaasa.
Abavubuka tukole ki? Abalwa tukole ki? Soroti!
And when the Lugwara and all the peoples of Uganda command,
Thank you very much.
Bako Raza! Bako Raza! Bako Raza! Bako Raza!
members, now the chairman will now make the last 2 months, but of course don't forget, we are going to engage the different members of the public within these 21 days. And it's going to help us some of these things, so that we are all kept abreast of what is going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now addressing the media, members of the media. We know that there are many questions you would like to get answers to, but we did not arrange that we have a media interaction here. We are going to have a conference on Monday where all your questions will be answered. On Monday, venue will be communicated Monday morning at 10 a.m. to address the media, to get media to seek any information or clarification about what has happened here today. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you once again for coming and for the spirit that I have seen here, for the determination that I have seen here, that we free our country. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. We are going to officially close this with national anthem. Let's stand for national anthem.
Thank you so much. Oh, Uganda, me good we lay our future in thy hand. United, free for liberty, together we always stand. Thank you so much. The East Africa want to sing that. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, the journalists. Thank you, everyone who has been here. Thank you, the JCC. Everyone is here.
Thank you to me. You thank you to me. My name is Azteka Habibu Jogo. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you. And God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the executive, head of entity, and the member of the JCC, you are required to first go behind in the hall such that you have a few discussion. You want to, don't go before you meet. Member of the executive, head of entities, and members of the JCC, you are required to go behind. You are required to go at the hall. Thank you.
I don't know what it is. Tomorrow after the weekend because I have to go to West.
Members of the entity, the executives and the JCC, you are required to go outside. Thank you.
Okay.